Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. Yesterday, I made more non believers of numerology and gematria believers, or should I say thinkers. And it was a room full of people who were watching the Sunday night game, Packers versus Seahawks. I pointed out to them that yesterday's date numerology had numerology of 44, and for the entire day, only one game had a score summing to 44. It was the Falcons over the Giants 24 to 20. 24 plus 20 is 44. I told the people in the room, I said, okay, today has 44 numerology, and there are only two states with 44 gematria. They are Georgia and Wisconsin, and so far, Georgia has won today with a sum of 44 points. And I was telling them if the Packers Seahawks game ends with 44 points, then you can know this is beyond coincidence because Georgia and Wisconsin are the only two 44 states. Well, all the Seahawk fans in the room laughed and said, well, it's not going to end in 44 and Seahawks are winning. I said, okay, we'll see. Well, by the end of the game, the Seahawks had lost 27 to 17, which of course sums to 44. And yesterday, on this date with 44 numerology, no other NFL game had a sum of 44. We can scan through them real quick. There are other interesting things in the numbers. I might do more posts later, but so far, here's the first 44 score Falcons Giants. And the only other one is Seahawks Packers. No other game has a connection to 44. So pretty fascinating, isn't it? The only two states with 44 gematria win their football games with combined scores of 44 points. And what it reminds me of a little bit is last season. See, here's my post from yesterday. Early in the day, I wrote this in the morning time before the games began. I said, pay attention, it's the date with 44 numerology. Last year, I was almost able to predict the Super Bowl correctly after the Week 3 games, which were on September 21st, 2014. The reason why is because on that day, there were only two games with 44 connections. The Colts defeated the Jaguars 44-17. The season prior in Week 3, the Seahawks had whooped up on the Jaguars 45-17. Very similar score in the same week. And then the only other game with a 44 connection on this date with 44 numerology a year back was the Ravens over the Browns 23-21. Add those numbers together, you get 44. And the reason this was so fascinating to me at the time is because the Baltimore Colts, they used to be the Baltimore Colts, had won the Super Bowl over the Cowboys exactly 44 years earlier. And on this date with 44 numerology, nobody else had a 44 connection. Just the two teams connected to who had won the Super Bowl 44 years earlier. So I made a video that day, and I said I think the Colts are going to win the Super Bowl. Well, I should have done more homework because who ended up winning it was the Patriots, who were in their 44th year of being in their conference, in their division, and who advanced in the playoffs over Baltimore and then over the Colts in the game now known as Deflategate, where they went on to play the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. And what's interesting about history of the NFL is that once upon a time there was a team called the Miami Seahawks who folded and became the Baltimore Colts. And then I just think about how the Patriots advanced through the Colts and the Seahawks for their final two games of the season. Lots of numerology involved. There always are with these games. This NFL week kicked off with a Thursday night game, Broncos versus Chiefs on a date with 41 numerology, and both Broncos and Chiefs in gematria sum to 41. This game's score was 24-17 with 2 minutes and 27 seconds left, and then the Broncos scored two touchdowns in the final minute to win the game. Just to show you this 44 thing's no joke, truth seeker, anybody who follows the league will get a kick out of this. When Michael Vick was on the Atlanta Falcons, a very big rushing threat from the QB position, look, he set the record with 44 10 or more yard rushes as a QB that season. 44. In Georgia, the fourth state with 44 gematria. Russell Wilson plays for the Seahawks, which have gematria of 33. They're the only team to ever win a Super Bowl on the 33rd day of the year. It's a league by the numbers, truth seeker. We watch athletic actors, scripted performances. I want to show you what else is really creepy, though, about what I noticed from this Falcons-Giants game yesterday. I already did a video showing why I am suspicious and even slightly worried about the Thursday night game, Redskins at Giants this week. The Pope travels from Washington, D.C. to New York the same day the Redskins travel to face the Giants. I wish I took a screenshot. For any of you who are watching the games this Sunday, you probably saw it. For the first half, they kept up the stat by Matt Ryan that he had 239 passing yards. They kept it up there for so long. I wanted to take a picture of it, but I thought, oh, maybe it's just a coincidence, not a big deal. But then by the end of the game, I thought, oh, this game's very interesting. I wish I had taken a picture. Matt Ryan finished the game 30 for 46 with 346 passing yards. Well, when you take into account his sacks. But isn't that interesting? 30 of 46. If you drop the 0, it becomes 346, just like his number of yards. And earlier in the day, they were saying he had 239 passing yards in the first half. It was a big stat that they kept up there for, I don't know, it must have been up there for an hour and a half. I had about 15 opportunities to take a picture, and I didn't. I wish I had, but here's what really stands out to me, Truth Seeker. Golden Gate Bridge in Jewish gematria sums to 346, and Golden Gate in Jewish gematria sums to 239, which is how many yards he had passing for the first half. In Jewish spirituality, the Golden Gate is very important. According to Jewish tradition, the Shekinah, or divine presence, used to appear through this gate and will appear again when the Anointed One, Messiah, comes. And in the Bible, this is Ezekiel 44. Notice the number 44. Yesterday's outcome, 44 numerology, 44 outcome of the game. And a new gate replaces the present one. That is why Jews used to pray for mercy at the former gate at this location. So Golden Gate, this important thing to the Jewish people, this year on September 23rd, connected to the number 229, 23/9 is a lot like September 23rd. That's the date of Yom Kippur, the most important Jewish holy day on the calendar. Of course, the Jewish holy books, the Torah, which also has this gematria of 239. The Thursday night football game comes September 24th, which is September 11th on the Julian calendar. So anyway, I just wanted to point out that these stat features were also in this game with this, curious outcome of 44 points. And also with regards to Golden Gate and 44, check out this picture of Obama from April 4th, 2013, posing at the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco on the date of 4/4, Obama's the 44th president. Ezekiel 44 references the Golden Gate. Something else, isn't it, Truth Seeker? So just remember these things should any funny business occur this week. As I often say, pro sports are scripted by the numbers, and they're scripted according to what's going on in the world. Every NFL fan should know that by the existence of the New England Patriots, who instantly became the league's best team out of nowhere days after September 11th. In the time of the Patriot and the Patriot Act. Football's here to distract us while real evil persists. I can't say it enough, these games are scripted by the numbers. Tonight, the Colts play Monday, September 21st, a date with 45 numerology. This year's Super Bowl is on a date with 45 numerology. And it will have been 45 years since the Colts defeated the Cowboys in the Super Bowl. So something to think about. Since before the season began, I've thought that things are scripted well for the Colts and the Eagles. Right now the Eagles are 0-2, but I think they'll still be fine this season. They might very well emerge and have a triumphant season if something negative goes down in Philadelphia in the coming week, while the Pope is visiting. So this is pretty much the message, Truth Seeker. Just wanted to show you how all of these things are so scripted. One last point about Matt Ryan's stats, the 346 connections. December 12th is the 346th day of the year. I noticed this is a date with 39 numerology, the number super important in New York. Just all things to think about. I'm telling you, what they code into these games, it's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. The script is more important than you know, Truth Seeker. All right, until next time, don't be deceived.